Before you do this work, make sure that you are 100% innocent. And you got to know up front that this is a type hoodoo work. You can't take this back. Once you cast this into this water, you can't go back and get it. You can't go back later and try to reverse it. You can't try to change it. This is permanent work until it's fulfilled. Your word is your bond. And when you speak the words over this work that I'm showing you, it has to be fulfilled before it can be released. Greetings, Hoodoo family. I hope you are enjoying the summer and really growing your Hoodoo skills. If you haven't seen my other work in the field videos, please go back and check those out, especially if you're trying to build your Hoodoo knowledge. These are just great little videos to help introduce you to a lot of the nature spirits that you typically won't find in the mainstream Hoodoo, but especially working with nature overall. And that is one of the key components of Hoodoo. So today we're going to continue this journey, but I have something a little different. So family, last week I seen several videos of African sisters telling the stories of how they worked for years on jobs, either here in the US or in the UK. I mean, just sacrificing, living below their means while they're here so that they could send money back home to build a house for themselves. And I'm talking 20 and 30 years of just living below their means and sending money home. And in each of those cases, they sent the money to a trusted family member, usually a brother, who was supposed to be coordinating and paying for the construction of the home. And through the years, the sisters would ask them about the progress of the construction, and they would be told that everything was coming along just fine. And some were even provided pictures of their homes that were being built. Well, when these women, and these are all individual women going to different countries on the continent, when they got back to their homelands, ready to see and live in their new homes, begin their, retirement in their homeland, they got there and they had nothing. The brother had been squandering the money. And in each of these videos, the women were just distraught, screaming, crying, because after all those years of sending money home, they were being lied to, and they came back to nothing. Can you imagine that? You are just really sacrificing for years, thinking you're coming back to a home that's paid for in your home country, and there's nothing. So it was just very heartbreaking. And one thing I noticed, the brothers were not remorseful at all. Most of them didn't say nothing. They were arrogant, in their wrongdoing, just had nothing to say. A couple of them tried to vilify their sisters for their screaming and their ranting and their crying because they were causing a scene in the town or the village. But they had no excuse. It was like, oh, well, yeah, I did it. So what? One of the brothers I noticed was dressed really nice in brand new clothes, probably paid for with his sister's money. And these sisters just had to eat this. There was no recourse for them. There was no help from the village or their families to help correct this. The money was gone. And they've come back to their home with nothing, nowhere to live. Family, this is just awful. It's just awful. This is terrible. Their own flesh and blood stabbed them in the back, left them with nothing. But let me tell you, it happens over here too. It happens over here in our own African American communities. I'm sure, this happens to everyone in the world, but I'm talking about our people. People will steal land, they'll steal money, businesses, homes from their own family members, and they don't care. Pure greed, pure evil. Family, what would you do if this happened to you? What would you do? Your own blood snatched the rug right out from under your feet. Let me tell you what can be done in hoodoo. So family, let's look at payback for these type people. Come go with me to my local pond in a small park that I call the Devil's Playground because it's full of invasive, domineering, and greedy nature spirits. Now the pond itself, or they call it lake, I call it a pond, has no spirit. It's full of decay, rot, and stagnation. It's a man-made body of water. And I did a video about this place earlier this year during the spring, but let's go back. I want to show you something. So beside this pond is several invasive, strong nature spirits, such as the yellow flag or what they call yellow iris. This is what it looked like earlier this year during the spring when I went there. Don't it look lovely? I mean, it looks like you could put this picture on a postcard. Beautiful yellow flowers. But here's the deal. Nothing good comes out of these particular irises. Don't be fooled. Here is what it looks like now during the heat of summer. As you can see, it's grown wild. Some of the other invasive plants have just grown, wild as well. So the yellow flag has reached its full power. And its roots are strong and they're deep in this water. Anything that gets caught in the roots of it is not going anywhere. Any trash from the pond that drift over into these this yellow flag, or even some little small critters, they get trapped and they die and they decay. So the water is very murky. It's very stagnant, filled, like I said, with rot and decay. But this is where yellow flag thrives, in this type environment. So that kind of tells you what type of a nature spirit this is. And it serves its purpose in nature. Let me say that. Nothing in nature is just pure evil. It serves its purpose. Now let's go back to our payback. If you have someone who's done you wrong, like these African sisters was done wrong, you're not trying to kill nobody. You're not trying to cause them bodily harm. But you do want them to pay for the exorbitant theft or loss that they have inflicted on you. And I'm talking about a terrible loss that impacts your life. Here's what you do. Take a small jar like a small yogurt jar with a secure lid. And you just want to add things to it that will become gross and rot over time. This is important. Here are 4 things that you can add that will bring you results. This is what's going to make this spell work. You do everything that I'm telling you, as I'm telling you here in this video, and you will see some results. Here's the 4 things you want to add to the small jar. Number 1, get something that belongs to that person. It needs to have their essence on it. It cannot be a photograph. We're not doing a petition. You got to have something in hand that has their essence on it. This could be the armpit of a well-worn shirt, insole of a well-worn shoe, their hair, toe or fingernails, a piece of their underwear. If you are serious about this, you need something that has been on their body. And you'll take a little cutting from whatever it is, like the insole of their shoe. You're not going to use the whole insole of their shoe. You just want to cut just a little piece off of it. And you're going to place this in your jar. Number 2, you want to find a dead bug. Yes, you heard me right. A dead bug, and add it. A freshly new or recently new dead bug is preferred. Here's the thing, just don't use cicadas. Right now, you're going to find dead cicadas all over the place. You don't want to use them because they bring transformation, they bring change. You're trying to get stagnation, so it's opposite of what you're trying to do. I'm talking about dead bees, wasps, hornets, cockroach, roach, dead flies. These are preferred. All you need is one. Add it to your jar. The third item you want to get a raw chicken gizzard. And you just want a small piece of it. And you want to add this to your jar. The last item you want to add, and this is going to be gruesome, add a little bit, just a half a spoon of cow or dog poop. Cow or dog poop. One or the other, nothing else, either one of these. And add this to the jar. Before you put that lid over it, you're going to speak over this jar. You're going to call out the person's name as if they are standing right in front of you. You're going to hold that jar up and talk as if they're right there in front of you. Tell them they will not prosper and grow in this life until they have paid their debt to you. Now, however long it may take, this spell will not be released until the slate is clean between you and them. Let me repeat that. You want to speak over the unopened jar. Call out the person's name and speak that they will not prosper and grow in this life until they have paid their debt to you. However long it might take, this spell will not be released until the slate is clean between you and them. And I want you to mean what you say. Speak from the heart. Don't just be mumbling or repeating from memory. No. Listen to me, family. You got to put your anger, all of that frustration, all of that pain, all of those tears behind each and every word that you speak. Hear me out. Cast this jar into the yellow flag deep in the middle of the growth. Not on the edges where it might become loose or where it can be removed. Right in the middle, the heart of the growth. And if you don't have yellow flag, no worries. Look for a pond that has overgrowth along its edge. And that's typically a lot of ponds that are not really kept up. There's going to be some invasive plants growing on the edge of it. If you have a marsh near you, that's even better. If you have some sort of a swampy area, use it. Just be sure to cast the jar into the heart of the overgrowth. And of course, you're going to have the lid on it. And you're going to walk away and let nature do its work. And just remember, once you do this, there is no turning back. Hear me out, family, when I say this, because this is a serious work. Once you do this, there is no turning back. You can't go back and retrieve it. You can't change your mind. Once you cast that jar, that's it. You sealed it with your words. So you can't go back on your words, or you will pay a price. And you hear me out. So make sure that you are 100% innocent. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you want to learn more about traditional hoodoo work, go visit my website. The link is in the description. I have the Hoodoo Basic Training Textbook that gives you a lot of great information to get started learning hoodoo. There's lessons, there's assignments, there's resources, quizzes to really help make sure that you're not only learning from this book, but gaining the hands-on experience. And that's critical. When you're learning hoodoo, you have to have that practice. You've got to have that work that you do as you're learning. It is a learn as you go type skill. So there are a lot of rituals, there's spells, there's lots of hoodoo information. Go check it out if you'd like to learn traditional hoodoo. The link is in the description. But family, I really want to thank you for liking this video, for all of you who have subscribed and just having an interest in traditional hoodoo. So we're going to continue this journey of work in the field in the next video. So I will see you then. Until then, just keep growing strong, building in your life. Thank you.